What's up guys, I'm Jeff Montgomery and welcome to Tax Planning on the Whiteboard. If you like what you hear, make sure you hit subscribe. One of the most common mistakes with retirement accounts is missing a required minimum distribution. When this happens, there are always questions about how do you set things right? How do you correct a missed RMD? Well, on this episode, let's go over the updated rules for fixing an RMD in 3 simple steps. Let's go to the whiteboard. Okay, before we get started, there are some acronyms that will apply to this video that I think we should quickly review. First of all, RMD. That simply stands for Required Minimum Distribution. I think most people are familiar with that. RBD stands for Required Beginning Date. Secure Act stands for Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement. This act was originally passed in December of 2019. EDB stands for Eligible Designated Beneficiary, and NEDB stands for Non-Eligible Designated Beneficiary. And of course, IRA stands for Individual Retirement Arrangement. According to the IRS, we all call them individual retirement accounts. Okay, step 1. Number 1, identify the missed RMD. Unfortunately, missed RMDs can happen, and you may not notice that you missed an RMD for quite a while, possibly even years. When retirement account owners reach a certain age, they must start withdrawing a minimum amount of money each year. They call this the required minimum distribution. Of course, you could take out more if you needed it. The required beginning date, or RBD date, is when the RMD withdrawals must begin, and that deadline is April 1st of the year following the first RMD year. For most IRA owners, that's age 73 under the new law, Secure Act 2.0. However, if you were born after 1960, that age is 75, so keep that in mind. One of the big areas where folks can make a mistake is when they inherit an IRA. Beneficiaries, including Roth IRA beneficiaries, are also subject to required minimum distributions. That's right. Some of you may be saying, wait a second, Jeff, Roth IRAs are tax-free and do not have required minimum distributions. Well, guess what? You are 100% correct for your own Roth IRA. However, beneficiaries that are considered non-eligible designated beneficiaries, NEDBs, will have an RMD on an inherited Roth IRA. And that minimum distribution, by the way, is the entire account value by the end of the 10th year after death. So keep that in mind. The Secure Act and the Secure Act 2.0 have dramatically changed the rules for inheriting retirement accounts and taking minimum distributions from those accounts. Now, many non-spouse beneficiaries are now subject to a 10-year payout rule, where before they could stretch it out among their life expectancies. Again, these are classified as NEDB, where a spouse would be considered an EDB and eligible to stretch out those distributions and not subject to the 10-year rule. Okay, step number 2. Let's understand the penalties. The 2.0, Secure Act 2.0, signed into law December 29th of 2022, reduced the penalty from 50% to 25% for a missed RMD starting in 2023. And if the mistake is timely corrected, it further reduces it to 10%. What's a timely correction? Well, a timely correction is filing Form 5329 by the end of the 2nd calendar year following the year for the missed RMD. Special note, the new reduced RMD penalty under the Secure Act only applies to 2023 and later. So let's keep that in mind. And then number 3, it's as simple as requesting a waiver. If you discover you missed an RMD, the first step is to withdraw the RMD. Make sure you take out what you missed. That income from the missed RMD is included on the tax return for the year of the distribution. So for instance, if you missed an RMD from 2021 and it's distributed in 2024, it will be taxable in 2024. The IRS will not even consider granting relief from a penalty until the RMD is taken. So make sure you take it out. Then you file Form 5329. Now, Form 5329 addresses many different penalty situations, not only IRAs, but all types of other accounts as well. So just be aware of that. This form can be filed along with your annual tax return for the year the RMD is finally distributed. So that makes it kind of easy. However, you could also file it as a standalone form. And if you happen to miss multiple RMDs, you'll have to file a separate Form 5329 for each RMD missed that was not taken. But guess what? You can file all those forms at the same time. They can be filed together. All right, penalties for missed RMDs can be substantial. Even after the passage of this Secure Act, even 10% can be substantial. So correcting them only requires taking the missed RMD, then filing the form. There's no filing fee, and there's no penalty due unless the IRS rejects the waiver. That's a possibility, but highly unlikely. So time spent is a small price to pay on a missed RMD, and it can avoid big penalties in the future. So that's it for this tax planning on the whiteboard video. Also, make sure you check out the show notes for additional tax planning resources we may include in the show notes. So make sure you check that out. And again, I'm Jeff Montgomery, and we'll see you next time on Tax Planning on the Whiteboard.